Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the one, the only, the most epic pro wrestling podcast on the internet. Squared Circle Shenanigans.
Hello and welcome all to the Squared Circle Shenanigans. I am one of your hosts. I am Keith. My host is currently here, but not here at the same time.
Swap, everybody. It's Scotty.
And our episode today is our favorite pay-per-views and some of our favorite matches from those pay-per-views. We're also going to be doing our IWR predictions for this week's show coming up.
Yes, sir. It's going to be a banger.
But before we get to all that, I just wanted to thank a few of our sponsors real quick. We wanted to thank Maya's Fresh Mexican Grill, Deb's Floro, IWR itself, 8 Mile Vodka, Dudes Talking Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Edge, Lane's Pizzeria, The Little Brown Jug, Mugsy's Bar and Grill, Monroe Sports Center, and then Ruthless Pro Wrestling. Thank you all for your support.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Alrighty, we'll get straight into the IWR predictions first, I guess.
All right. So you want to start with the VIP? I mean,
yes,
that would be
we'll
make sense.
VIP card.
So I don't know who exactly is going to be in the battle royal, so I can't really make a prediction on that one. But if someone I would like to see, I mean, if it could be anybody, I know Sam Beal's wrestling later on in the night, but the Perminator, man, I always love seeing the Perminator.
You gotta love the Perminator. He's a rock
star.
That's
right.
You got to, but I'm gonna go a little opposite here. I decided I'm gonna go with everyone's favorite silly goose, Kenny Urban.
That's right. I love Kenny Urban.
I'm hoping he's one of the few. I was trying to think of who all could be in it, and I was thinking Sam and Ox and Kenny and a few other people. But if I'm going for it, I'm hoping Kenny wins. Let's be real.
Right.
And he's a good option. All right, with that, we're gonna go with Ace Austin versus Jack Price. Ooh, for this one, it's going to be very interesting. We've got the Bullet Club against DTA, and I have a feeling that Jack Price is going to somehow overcome this and, defeat Ace Austin.
Absolutely. I chose the same thing. I mean, I love the Bullet Club, and I've been a fan of the Bullet Club back when Cody was the leader, Kenny Omega was the leader, Finn Balor when he was Prince Devitt, he was the leader. Everything. I love the Bullet Club, but I love the DTA too. And Jack Price is the man, so I think he can beat Ace.
Awesome. That's a good one. Our next VIP match, or the final one, would be Miss Kelly Moore, which is Miss Canada, versus Mean Gia. And as much as everybody probably would love to see Miss Canada win, I got Mean Gia on this one.
I'm the opposite, dude. Listen,
wow.
Johnny Bravo can suck it, okay? Because he's so mean to her, all right? And I really like Miss Canada now, and I hope she beats Mean Gia up, just kicks her ass. It'd be awesome.
Her first match was pretty good. She showed
exactly
some progress, so you never know. All right. Well, after that, I think we're gonna go with a special little, talk show host type thing real quick. We're gonna go with Benjamin Boone hosting the Bachelor Pad, and his first guest speaking of the man, his first guest is John E. Bravo.
Oh, look at that. That's gonna be my bathroom break. I'm just kidding.
During the middle of the show, bathroom break, hurry up, Johnny. Well, I mean, there's not much to talk about. They're gonna have a conversation. Do you see anybody coming out? Do you see anything happening maybe?
I don't, maybe not at that point. I mean, I know in the main event, Johnny Bravo is a part of it, and we're supposed to meet the A-Team Special Forces or whatever.
Yeah,
so maybe we might get introduced to whoever they are.
That got, his issues with Gary. You never know, anything could pop up or anybody could happen.
That's true.
Shane Douglas could come back,
hopefully that's always good.
Just because of Dread King Logan, you never know. Anybody can pop up out of nowhere. All right, that's interesting. Well, before we get to the actual main card, we should also mention that there's a meet and greet with ECW's Queen of Extreme Francine at this show.
That is insane. That is so awesome.
Cannot wait. That should be a super fun time.
Absolutely.
It's March 23rd, and it's held at the House of Insanity, the FOP in Monroe. And we're gonna start off with our main card now. Pick you want to take a pick now for this one?
Oh well, the isn't it like the exhibition as they call it between like we got Rod Lee versus that shitty Buckeye Sam guy, and
Yeah.
clearly go blue.
Oh.
So Rod Lee is gonna kick Buckeye Sam's ass. Okay.
All right.
Where the Rodoracious one is gonna do it, and it's gonna be awesome.
I'd hate to say this, but as much as I'd love it to be sucker free, I have a feeling that Sam and his coach are going to take this one home for Ohio. You know,
Boo, go blue.
I'd hate to. I really don't like to say it because I like Rod Lee, and I hope he does win at the same time. But for the matchup, I got Buckeye and his coach.
Yeah,
win.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully, Rod Lee kicks his ass, but
you never know.
All right.
All right. Another big one. I think we should go with Zach Thomas versus Madman Fulton.
Listen, grimy Zach Thomas, I will never forgive him for stealing Goose. So that Madman Fulton better just beat him all around the House of Insanity.
I have a feeling that it's going to be a squash match. Madman is going to destroy him.
Hopefully.
Zach might get one shot, and that's and then Madman's just going to throw him around and, power slam him one good time, and it's over.
Exactly. It's going to be awesome.
I indeed and agreed, and I picked Madman Fulton for the win on that one as well. All right, what else do we got?
We are entitled to really great wrestling. I wouldn't say entitled. Entitled is not the wrong word. Is the wrong word. We are graced with some of the most best wrestling around, and we're getting round 2 of Rich Swann versus Top Notch Jason Hotch for the U.S. title. I would really hope Top Notch takes it and can win again, but like win without we seen what happened. The foot was under the rope. It wasn't fair. So I think he's going to do it outright this time, and it wasn't anybody's fault. We just know the ref didn't see it. So
very true.
So that was an absolute smasher last time. So I can't wait to see what they do.
Maybe they'll have a special guest outside ref or something to watch out for that.
To make sure, like a special enforcer or something.
I also went with Jason Hotch on this one. As much as Rich Swann is a professional athlete and a great superstar in general, and I love watching him perform against Jason Hotch last time. As much as I'd love to have him as our IWR United States champion, I don't see no one taking it from Hotch until he's ready to give it up.
Exactly.
I don't.
I totally agree. And then so I would go with next though.
Yes.
Would be the tag team title match, the triple threat tag team title, Gold Reserve versus DTA versus the Rascals.
Yes, sir.
And so I assume with Jack Price facing Ace Austin, we're gonna have it's Tommy and Aaron Orion for the DTA.
Yes.
And then the Rascals. Trey is the man. The Rascals are awesome. And Myron's great too. So I cannot wait. They're gonna pull it out. We've seen great stuff last time. I can't wait to see what. I mean, Myron busted his head open at the beginning of the match and just that was epic.
Yeah, but you got to watch out for the big men with the Gold Reserve. You got Big Sullivan and Chambers. You never know what they can do.
That's true.
Full of surprises.
I mean, there's Jeremiah, and they got Jeremiah, so that's cool.
And then you got the surprise, not so much of a surprise, the outrageous manager of Jeremiah. Anything can happen.
Exactly. Yeah, Jeremiah. He could be a little help, I guess.
I feel I really wanted to go with the Gold Reserve because of Jeremiah and the the weight and size. But to be honest, just because it's a triple threat, I see the Rascals retaining over like DTA or something. To be honest,
I see. Yep. I do agree.
But for that specific reason, I feel like the Gold Reserve is just going to destroy, and then the DTA and the Rascals are going to come in and take it over and win for sure.
Absolutely, I'm ready. And then we got that main event. Main event's going to be wonderful.
Hold down. We got Sam Beal with Ox versus Ace.
Oh yeah, listen, you're right. I missed that one.
It's all right. We got a banger. The Perminator. Going out there with his boy Ox to get against the the Lone Wolf Ace Evans. I think that's what it is.
That is true. I was just kidding. There's no way I was going to forget about Sam. Obviously, the Terminator, the rock star, the man himself is going to beat down Ace Evans.
Gotta go over.
So,
Sam has got.
That's right. Speaking of, man, I got my Sam Beal merch on right now, dude. Every day.
Sam Beal for the win over Ace. Sorry, Ace.
That's right.
You just got to take it. All right. Well, with that one being said, now you can go back to what you were saying before. We've got a huge.
So the main event is going to be a wild one, and we all know what happens at IWR and how it doesn't really get contained in the ring very well.
Yeah, very true.
So we are going to have an absolute dogfight of a 6-man tag team. It doesn't matter. I mean, the name. I don't care who King Latimer and Johnny Bravo bring in. They have to face the DBA, Rhino, and the fucking Dread King Logan.
Yes,
so, excuse me. And those three, when those guys are in a singles match, not even with each other, it's explosive. So can you imagine the DBA, who's one of my favorites, mind you? I absolutely love the DBA. And I am really excited to see them. And I don't know who this A-Team Special Forces, I don't know what they're thinking. I live in Monroe, Michigan, not Monroe, Ontario, Canada.
Right.
So
I'm hoping to see some hard hitters. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really excited to kind of see who they are.
It's gonna be a surprise, I believe.
But like you said, it's gonna be a banger of a match, and we're gonna see somebody go through a table by far for sure. We're probably gonna see a ladder. We're gonna see trash cans and lids. We're gonna have cookie sheets, probably chairs. Hopefully, somebody gets put through a table as well, or not a table, but a door as well.
The door is like the IWR thing, and I absolutely love the IWR door. And then don't forget the Legos. Yes. Somebody needs to go through some Legos.
Yeah, that's very true. Madman brings the Legos for whoever, or you never know.
Exactly. I'm ready.
I went with Team Dread King Logan on this one. Clearly, doesn't matter who the enforcers are. Like you said, I'm hoping for somebody cool, but doesn't matter. There's no way Dread King.
Yeah, they're getting beat down.
Losing there, they are both very aggravated and angry with the A-Team and Mr. John Bravo. So anything is possible.
Hey, real quick, I want to see DBA drop the flaming elbow.
Listen, me too. That is one of the most coolest things I've ever seen. I want to see it again.
For real, that would be fast.
We got a almost taste of it. He dropped the elbow off the ladder last time, and that was incredible.
He did indeed. That was a great one. But yes. So you're going with. I'm assuming you're going with Dread King's team as well.
I sure am.
You're kind of figured.
But that's where my heart is at. So I'm picking them because I'm going with my heart. But if I'm using my brain, and we've seen over the last few months what Johnny Bravo is capable of,
right? And
bringing people in and whatever, they could win. It could happen. We definitely didn't think he was going to beat the Dread King last time either, and look what happened.
Depends on
bullshit.
It depends on who the teammates are, and if they decide to let Johnny stay out there.
It's probably going to be Commander Cody.
Oh God, we were in Commander Cody and his his little other buddy over there.
Yeah, well, I don't even remember that one. I call him Lieutenant Laughter.
What's
he's like Canada's he's like, we have Sergeant Slaughter, they have Lieutenant Laughter.
Monty Peters. Yeah, Monty Peters.
I forgot his. Yeah, see, I don't even remember his name. I call him Lieutenant Laughter.
That's hilarious. I heard that Tanner Nix is supposedly joining them, so maybe they'll have Tanner finally join.
That'd be cool. I like Tanner Nix.
Tanner's over right now, so if they actually,
that is true.
Kind of smart. You never know. Plus, he still wants his money from Johnny Bravo for that giant.
This is true. So maybe he won't.
Oh, you never know. Maybe he'll call.
He might help. Yeah, he might help Rhino. He's been pissed off about that. Johnny Bravo owes him money. So
true. Maybe we'll see a different side of Tanner tonight, and maybe we'll see an outcome that it will surprise us all.
That's true. So with that being said, that's 9 matches of just fire.
Absolute
firepower, and I'm so excited for it. The boys are excited for it.
you cannot make it to live to IWR, you can catch it live on the BrainJerk network. So
That is true. We are live at IWR.
Dread King Logan says, destroy the Canadians.
Yes.
That's fucking epic. Shout out to the Dread King. You're the fucking man, dude.
We got you. Don't worry. You got this.
This is epic.
All right. I love it. Well, as much as we love the IWR, we've got a few other things to go over now.
That's right. That's right. Let's get into some history.
Actual category. Let's go with some of our favorite pay-per-views and a few of our favorite matches from there. I'll let you start.
All right. So I went, you know me, and it's probably going to be weekly. Yes, that's right. So one of the first pay-per-views that I can remember, when this one happened, I had just turned like 7 or 8.
Okay.
And like this is one of the first ones I can remember I can remember it happening, watching it with my grandpa and everything. It's Halloween Havoc 1999.
Ooh.
And there really the most memorable thing from that pay-per-view is it was supposed to be Sting versus Hogan for the title.
Right.
But Hogan came out in his street clothes and just laid down like nobody knew what was going on. So that was supposed to be the banger of the night, but it never happened.
Didn't happen.
But my favorite match from the pay-per-view was Goldberg versus Sid Vicious for the U.S. title. And leading up to the Nitros prior to Halloween Havoc, right, they were just going at it. And Sid had told him, you put your hands on me, you lose your title shot. You're done. You don't get it. Goldberg said, fork it, and straight just beat his ass. Yep. And then he's like, oh, and then somehow still ended up getting the title shot. And then, so Goldberg arrives to the arena and asks, where's Sid at? And then next thing you know, Sid is there. Goldberg is beating the dog crap out of Sid. He's bloody everywhere. This is before the match.
Yep.
And the match is later in the night. He comes out. He still has blood all over his face.
All out assault.
And that's exactly how I described it when I watched it last night. That's how I described this match, was just an assault, because they just went back and forth, brutally beating the crap out of each other. And it got to the point that Sid literally just passed out. So Goldberg won. So that's really cool.
Goldberg.
Dread King says, let me know when y'all want me on the show. The king needs to go reap the iron gods. Cheers.
That's right. Anytime, whenever you're available, we got you.
We will be hitting you up soon then. Yes, sir. I cannot wait.
That's awesome.
That's a fantastic start. I love that start, by the way. That was great.
And then, but I did choose one. Another honorable mention, I guess, for this is that Goldberg wins the U.S. title, but also at the end of the night, because Sting comes out and was like, "That's no way to do anything. We're not having this."
Right.
And I want a match. I'm here to fight. I came to Vegas to fight.
Okay.
So it was a open challenge, and out comes Goldberg, and he wins the world title in the same night. So that was really set in my mind, Goldberg being a top dog for WCW, because he won 2 titles in one night, which was really cool.
Goldberg coming out here pulling double duty,
and
winning 2 championships.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time, just because it's like a personal one. Like I remember, and I had really good times with the old man. So like,
right.
That was the reason why I love wrestling now, is because of my grandpa. So like, yeah, good memories.
That's awesome. I love that.
All right, buddy.
I'm gonna go from oldest to newest. So my first one is a WWF pay-per-view. It's In Your House 11, and it's Buried Alive from October 20th, 1996.
That's a good pay-per-view.
This pay-per-view was strictly built around one match, and it's the main event, which saw Mankind with Paul Bearer versus The Undertaker in a Buried Alive match. And it was phenomenal. The Undertaker clearly won in a hard-fought battle, and then the craziest thing was that was, like I said, your main event. And then one of my other favorite matches from that night was Blue Blood, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, being defeated by Stone Cold Steve Austin after a distraction by Mr. Perfect strolling down to the ring, side to try to steal Triple H's current manager. I couldn't remember who she was, but it was his manager at the time. It wasn't China. But I also have an honorable mention for this pay-per-view, which is really funny because it was a dark main event and it was a random WWF match for the championship between Shawn Michaels and Goldust. Goldust actually got a WWF championship match, which I did not know.
I didn't know that either. That's really cool. I like that. That's a cool tidbit. Now, was it like a dark main event? Was it just like a dark match, or was it like after
that match? Yeah, so it was after the show and everything. But yeah, there was like all together. There was one before and two after, and he was in the dark main event match for the WWE.
That's really cool.
Against Shawn Michaels. Sadly, he lost, so Michaels retained. But that was a thing that I never thought I'd hear or say, and so it blew my mind. I was like, you know what? I'm throwing that in there. I have to.
I like that.
Goldust got a WWF title shot.
He was hot in '96, but
he
even before the Attitude Era,
he probably did get it and deserve it. But it was just crazy. Did not expect to hear from that.
That's really cool. All right, I like that. I like that a lot. That's a good one. Isn't that the one where Undertaker's hand comes up like this out of the dirt in his glove?
I believe so, but
that's infamous.
That was like the end of the match. That was when he was buried alive. I think that was
like infamous part of the match. I remember. Not remember it because it would have been. Didn't watch that one like live, but I seeing that like later on in life. It's in my memory. The hand sticking out
for sure.
So number 2, I went Survivor Series 2001. Okay. So that was 2000. Obviously, March of 2001 is when WCW, the last Nitro, and then so all those guys came over, and at first we thought we were going to get like Dream, like this is going to be awesome. We're going to get dream matches we never would have had before. WWF, versus WCW. Yeah, and that didn't really end up happening per se, but the whole lead up, the alliance, the ECW and WCW team, like the whole build up of who's gonna take winner take all. That was the main event. Like the names in the main event, like I would pretty much all Hall of Famers. Every last one of them in this match is a Hall of Famer or will be here eventually.
Oh yeah.
But but the crazy thing is, like, you would have never thought that you would have Stone Cold Steve Austin be the leader of the WCW and ECW team.
Just turned his back on all of his fans and his, all of his former coworkers and everything.
But it makes sense. Look how his boss treated him for years and years.
That's true.
Now that's adult Scotty thinking that. Like, look how bad his boss treated him. No wonder he gave up on them and went to the other side.
He got fired like almost 200 times.
Exactly.
He's got so clips in history, I think.
That match, the Survivor Series match, was Team Alliance, which was Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, RVD, Booker T, and Shane McMahon. So all Hall of Famers except for Shane.
That's 4 Hall of Famers already.
Right, and then Team WWF is The Rock, Kane, Undertaker, Jericho, and Big Show.
And that's 2 more, almost.
Well, yeah, exactly. So, and we know that eventually, one day, every one of them will be in a Hall of Fame.
For sure.
But the match that I chose, though, for this one is the tag team title match. The title unification between the Dudleys and the Hardys.
I like it.
Which was a steel cage match.
I like it.
Oh, sorry, I knocked you down. But the steel cage match, it was a banger. After this is cool, but I never really understood why it was like inside of the cage. It was a normal tag team match per se because they had to tag in and out, which was really weird. It was a cage match, so you would have thought it was they could go. So Matt manages to escape the cage.
Yep,
and which is cool. But beforehand, Stacy Keibler manages to get the keys from the ref and gets a table into the ring. So who would have thought? Cool beans. There's a table in a cage match. So
right there.
it's the Dudley boys. So you figured that would happen, and so Matt eventually gets out. So Jeff just had to get out, and he manages to get to the top of the cage, but his extremeness, the team extreme, the extreme took over his body, or
Yes.
took him over per se.
Yes, sir.
And
it was no
he
longer
decided to jump down back into the ring, and I think he went through the table if I remember correctly, and that ended the match. So the Dudleys they were the WCW tag team champions.
Yep,
So they won the WWF, and it was a unification match.
Yep.
So that one sticks out in my mind. That one's a good one. I had that DVD of this for years. I would watch it.
I've rewatched this a few times. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's a good one. And but the Team Alliance thing. That Alliance thing, I was sad about. I was thinking, man, we're gonna have Goldberg, we're gonna have Sting, we're gonna have all these guys.
Yeah.
And it was Sean Stasiak and
Lance Storm.
Lance Storm. I love Lance Storm. Like I love Lance Storm. But it's nothing against these guys because I love them, but it wasn't. And I guess everybody's feelings were the same back then.
DDP, Buffalo, them type people.
Well, DDP eventually came, and he was the going after Undertaker, which that was really cool. Undertaker's wife.
Yeah.
But yeah, Survivor Series 01 is a good one, just because that ended like there was no more competition after that.
Yep.
Because there was no more WCW per se, and it's just been dead ever since. But it lives on in my heart.
I have to give a weird comedy honorable mention for this one then for you.
Okay.
My favorite matches was the referee match between Earl Hebner and Nick Patrick with Mick Foley as the referee.
Yes, listen, that is a good one. There was a lot.
The biggest for Earl Hebner when he won. And just the comedy act of like two wrestlers who take the best bumps and you just sell as best as they can.
Mm-hmm.
You put them in a storyline feud over matches, like who counts to three, and that brawl for all the referees, and then it leads up to a big match between the two like senior official referees of those two like companies.
Mm-hmm. And that was awesome. There was so many different things they did and could have done, I guess, more, but like there's a lot of things that did. Like there was a time where on Monday Night Raw, the last hour, technically they did it. It was WCW. They changed the ring. They got a new entrance. Like it was WCW. Yeah. I don't know what they were going to call it, but it was 1 week. They did it once and never did it again. Like the main event was like Booker T versus Buff Bagwell for the WCW title.
You remember that?
And like then it just dissolved. They didn't do anything after that.
That's very funny. I do remember that. That's a really good one though. I
do enjoy that one. I watch that one sometimes still.
I love going back to that one.
Mm-hmm.
With the referee comedy match, like I said, but there are some good ones there. I do agree. All right.
And everybody was worried about being fired too. Like the losers, like, oh my gosh, like all the the WWF guys are like, oh crap, if we lose, we're gonna lose our job. And so the WCW guys. Like Test versus Edge, Test lost, but the immunity battle royal, he won, so he kept his job %. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that was cool too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love that pay-per-view though, for real. That was a really good choice. But with that, we're gonna go with my second one, which I believe will be from June 28th, 1998. It is the King of the Ring pay-per-view. Okay. So this is the crazy part. The pay-per-view was sold out using some of the biggest names: Kane, The Undertaker, Stone Cold, and Mick Foley. So you should probably already know where we're going with this.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there's no doubt.
The biggest main event of the night was planned, which saw The Undertaker going to battle with Mankind again, but this time in a 16-foot high Hell in a Cell.
Mm-hmm.
Undertaker yeeted Mick Foley
excuse me,
top of it into an announce table, which was the spot of the night, and the man died, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, that lives rent free in my head. Like that clip, he's broken in half.
Yes, that was absolutely wild. Nobody expected it. And then to have your body carried halfway up the ramp on a gurney, and then you decide, nah, we're good. He gets back up and goes straight back to the ring to finish it. Mick Foley was a true champion
Mm-hmm.
to the sports when it came to the
Yeah,
switch. He did everything he could.
absolutely. And did you know that Undertaker had like a broken ankle or a broken foot?
Yeah.
Even before the match, he wrestled that match with a broken foot. You see him hobbling.
Yeah. When
like the whole like
climb up the cage, you could see it too. Kind of.
And then when
the
choke slam through the top, that chair comes down and hits Mick Foley in the face.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the ring, he went through the ring slightly and his his shoulder, hit the mat, and he said it messed up his shoulder too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot wrong.
That's why he sits in the corner all like this.
Yeah.
Like, and you see his tooth is like in his nose. It like went through his face.
It definitely was not good. But with that one, that is a good one. But the main event from that was, Undertaker's brother Kane going against Stone Cold in a not a last man standing, but a first blood match for the WWF title, and Kane came out victorious.
Mm-hmm.
And to make Stone Cold bleed by using a chair, I believe it was, and just beating him.
Yes, that was Kane's first title, and didn't he lose it the next night on Monday Night Raw?
I was gonna say, I don't know if it was the next week. It was for sure within 2 weeks. I know that.
Yeah, they didn't let him have it. Like they should have. They could have done a lot, kept it dark, and let Kane be the champion back then. That would have been so cool.
Yeah, I think it was. I can't remember if it was like you said 1 day or 1 week or 2 weeks or something like that. But yeah, he lost it really quickly.
I believe that, but you got to do it for the storyline because, like at that time, that was Stone Cold. It was Stone Cold's time. It was his time to shine.
Yeah,
98. So
he wasn't he leaving though or something too? That's why or something. He
could have.
I couldn't remember. It was part of the storyline though, but he had to have surgery or something, so he had to leave. That's why they did it. But then, the person who they wanted couldn't do it, so they had to, put in a filler. That's why Kane was there.
That's right.
I do remember. I couldn't remember who it was, but yeah, they had to put Kane as a filler.
Bet.
Yes, sir.
So here I went with my third one. This one's another personal one for me because it's the very first WWE event I ever attended. Okay. And it was an absolute awesome night. It was 3 days after I graduated high school.
Okay.
My friend's parents bought us tickets for graduation. It was so cool. And it was Over the Limit 2010. It was at the Joe. The main event was Cena versus Batista in the I Quit match. And the next night is when Batista came out in the wheelchair on Raw and quit.
Yep.
And the section we were in section 222. That's where Cena and Batista came and fought, like on that stairwell in the match.
Okay.
They fought in our damn near in our section. Like it was pretty close. It was really, really cool. That first WWE event, they're right there. That was awesome. But that's the match that I chose to talk about because that was wonderful. Like it was action packed. They went back and forth. Cena hits the FU off of one of the cars that's on the stage as the set, and it's through the stage, and then Cena wins, obviously, and then boom, Sheamus brogue kick to the face, and it was epic. To end the pay-per-view, you got Sheamus just standing there, and so that was when, I believe it was right before Sheamus's first title run. This was when he got sent into the main event, for the first time. Right. And that's how it started, is he attacked John Cena, which is really cool.
For this, yes.
That was awesome. I'll never forget that night. I bought it was the orange John Cena shirt, the very first one that said never give up or something, the orange one. Right. And I bought it. I was so happy to get it. It was so cool seeing John Cena in person. The first match was MVP versus Chavo, but I believe that was a dark match. I don't believe it was just for the crowd. I don't believe that was on the pay-per-view. And
that's an interesting opener if it was.
but it was really cool to see. And that was when MVP was, when his entrance had the little tunnel and he would come out and everything. That was really cool. But CM Punk versus Rey Mysterio and the hair versus mask match, and this was like the straight edge society. So they were banned from ringside. Ray ended up winning and like shaved his head like there, and then for like a few months he had the mask on.
Yep.
And then it revealed the short hair.
Big Show.
And then
Big Show taking the mask off and stuff. Yep.
But besides Batista versus Cena, the match I was even more excited to see than that, and it didn't get to live up to expectations because of what happened, was Randy Orton versus Edge. And this is after Rated RKO. This is after they were a tag team. They were both. I mean, at this time we're in the main event, like we're in the title picture. So It was really cool to see them work with each other. But because they've always had smashers. Whenever Randy and Edge have fought, they have been great. But at this particular time, like it was really cool. But it ended in a double DQ because Randy like separated his shoulder or like threw his shoulder out of place or something during the match.
When he was
doing
he
pulled the thing, and like you seen him go down, and the whole crowd just went, like it was sad.
Shoulder, because
it was getting to be like the build up to the end of the match. So we almost got a full match, but we didn't get a spear, we didn't get the DDT, we didn't get an RKO because of that. So if that all would have happened, that would have been my favorite match of the night, which that was the one I was most excited for, but it didn't live up to it.
Yeah, it's very funny you said that because I was watching random videos on Facebook yesterday and randomly scrolling through on wrestling. That one came up actually, and I was like, "Did you know?" And then it explained it, and I was like, "Oh, all right."
And like, even though Edge wasn't in the main event or world title picture, he's the one who's on the front of it. You know what I mean? Like he's the cover. Yeah, it was the marquee for Over the Limit, which is really, really cool. Now it doesn't bother me, but the first time I ever heard that pyro go off, I wasn't ready for it. I was like 17, 18 when I graduated. I forget. And it scared the shit out of me. I was so scared. It was awesome.
It is pretty wild.
I do like it. It's loud in your face.
Yeah.
And then here's one. I've seen Kane live and in person once or twice, and it's no matter where you're at in the arena, you can feel that flame. So if you're sitting down by the entrance ramp, you can feel that heat.
Oh boy.
Bad.
Probably burning
the fire. It doesn't really burn you up, but you could feel it, and it's awesome. You didn't think you could feel it that far. Sorry.
Literally, no. No, you're good. You're good. Awesome. I do like that pick though. It's crazy. I literally just seen something about it too as well yesterday.
A good one.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with my third now, and you gotta put a WrestleMania on here somewhere. So March 14th, 2004, WrestleMania 20. It had multiple great matches, and I have 3 that I really enjoyed the most. So I'm gonna go through them really quickly. Kind of Eddie Guerrero defeating Kurt Angle to retain his WWE Championship in an epic showdown, where his boot gets out of the ankle lock, and just hit him with a quick roll up. 1, 2, 3. That one
was awesome.
That one was really good. I did enjoy that one a lot. That was it was a fantastic match. It was a good 12 to 15 minutes, I believe. It was straight up fire. They did a lot of cool stuff. They destroyed their bodies basically in a way and form, technically. And in the end, yes, the Eddie reverses out of an ankle lock through his boot, and then steals the win with a 1, 2, 3 roll up.
Right, and he didn't win the title there. He retained the title in that match, and it was still just as spectacular because I didn't know we were doing if we were allowed to include WrestleManias, because I thought one of our topics was going to be favorite WrestleManias. It's funny that you said this is my favorite WrestleMania of all time is awesome. WrestleMania 20.
That is hilarious.
And
awesome.
I remember it. I still get chills at the end when I see Benoit and Eddie hug and the confetti's coming down. They're both bawling their eyes out. I get chills, and it's epic.
Such a great
that match in particular, that was when, dude, Eddie was just over the top. That could have been in place. I mean, in my eyes, could have been in place later on in the card because of I'm a huge Eddie guy, and I always have been. But Eddie and Kurt, when they would work together, was always awesome.
Yep.
But that match was incredible.
It was a fantastic match. My second match is the returning Undertaker defeating his brother Kane. And
Yes.
very good match. It just depends on the way you look at it. Kane thought the whole time it was a joke, somebody playing a joke on him. He was, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I buried you, blah, blah, blah. Come to the night, and, who else to appear but the actual Undertaker?
Well, Paul Bear first.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, listen, chills, man. Chills. Because I remember the mind games on Monday Night Raw leading up to it.
Yep.
Like the music would hit, and then just the Titantron.
Because of a distraction. And that's what caused the whole Undertaker Kane thing to lead up to WrestleMania. Yep.
Well, it's because Shane O'Mac's a piece of garbage and got Kane to help him.
Okay.
In the Buried Alive match at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
It wasn't Shane O'Mac.
True.
No, it wasn't Shane O'Mac. Who did he? It was Vince. Vince got Kane to help.
I can't remember that one too well, to be honest.
But either way, like it was Vince because that night Shane wrestled Kane in the ambulance match. So it wasn't Shane. He wrestled Vince.
Oh.
Okay. In the Buried Alive match.
Interesting.
And Kane ended up dumping all the dirt with the tractor loader thing.
Oh yeah, okay.
And that's how Undertaker lost, and that killed the American Badass.
Right. I didn't think.
And then boom, the mind games start just after Royal Rumble.
You're right.
Because he even held a funeral for Undertaker on SmackDown, a eulogy and everything, and then that was cool. And then you see what are they called? The Druids.
Yep.
The fire, the entrance. Undertaker has. This is just something I seen the other day. Undertaker and Triple H. Undertaker's first, Triple H is in second for the lengthiest total amount of WrestleMania entrance time. Through all their appearances, Undertaker has over an hour.
Well, yeah, he's the dead man. He's slower than a zombie. He strolls down there slowly, takes his time.
That was awesome, and see that his hair wasn't quite long yet. It was just kind of down to his. Right here.
He still had shorter hair, still growing it out.
That was really cool to have the dead man back.
My second favorite match was indeed seeing the returning Undertaker defeat Kane. And then, of course, like you mentioned, the final match saw Benoit overcoming two of the company's top talents in Shawn Michaels and Triple H, which led to one of the most memorable moments in WrestleMania history, I believe, which, like you said, was the hug and the tears.
Yeah. Listen, man, because homeboys, best friends, absolute best friends are now both the top dogs of this company. Not to mention, let's talk about the Royal Rumble with Benoit going in at number 1 and lasting over an hour.
Yeah.
Doing the damn thing. Nobody talks about that. They just say there's 3 people who've done it so far.
Right.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
This is a match we're not supposed to talk about anymore because of, what happened. But I don't give a shit. I'll watch it over and over again. The fact that they put warning labels up on the Peacock when Chris Benoit is going to be on the screen really upsets me. Nothing to do with his wrestling. It's just afterwards. That's what's bad. Obviously, we know that, and that's terrible. The whole situation of what happened was bad. But
right.
I do believe this though. If Eddie didn't pass away, Chris Benoit would still also be here.
Yeah,
they would both still be here if Eddie hadn't passed away. I believe that in my heart.
If they weren't wrestling, they'd be managers or trainers. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm. Whatever they may be in life, retired or anything, they would still both be here with us. Well, I do believe that.
He's in the Hall of Fame, but I guarantee you they'd both be in the Hall of Fame if they were both still alive.
Absolutely. And it's kind of like I believe Pete Rose should be allowed to be in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Right.
And he's not allowed to be because of the whole thing that had nothing to do with his baseball career.
Yeah.
That was after when he was a manager. He bet on sports on his team or whatever.
Yeah, personal.
But it had nothing to do with his career and why he should be in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? He was a great baseball player. He should be there.
Right.
Just how I think Benoit should be in the Hall of Fame because of his wrestling career. all the cool stuff he was a part of. First off, he was part of the Four Horsemen.
Yep.
Like that's awesome.
He was one of the first inaugural SmackDown Tag Team Champions.
This is true. His run with the U.S. title and WWE was really awesome too. That was back when like Booker T was going after it. That was a really good division back then, and I really loved that match because I honestly really didn't think that Chris Benoit was going to win.
Right. He was,
and then
he overcame.
When he rolls Triple H back over,
yeah,
and just puts him up in it. And Triple H had white boots on that night for some reason. That sticks out in my brain too. He never really wore white boots before.
He wore
like that
white, and then the rest were all black.
Mm-hmm. Like that sticks out in my head. Like seeing Benoit roll him over with the crossface still on, and then him tapping out was just incredible.
Boots and white trunks.
And the way the cameras did it, I mean, the crowd obviously seen Eddie walk out, but everybody was cheering in excitement. That didn't do anything for anybody watching it on TV because everybody was excited Benoit won. So nobody realized that Eddie was coming out. And then, boom, the camera hits, and you just see when Benoit turns around that they see eye to eye. And that I got goosebumps right now. Sorry, I knocked it down again. I got goosebumps, man.
That is awesome. All right. I believe we both have one more pay-per-view left. So let's go.
Let's
go with your fourth and final.
All right. So one of my favorite Royal Rumbles ever is Royal Rumble 2000.
Okay.
And it's not even because of the Royal Rumble match. Yeah, that's cool. The Rock won.
Okay.
Taz's debut comes out, beats the snot out of Kurt Angle, and it was cool to see that match because they were both wrestlers, like technical wrestlers. So seeing that happen real quick was cool. But
watch him choke.
Choked him out. Gave him the Taz mission. It was awesome.
In that way, choked me out. All right.
Yeah, but the main event, besides the Royal Rumble match, so the championship match. It wasn't the main event. The Royal Rumble match was the main event. But
right.
Triple H versus Cactus Jack, for the WWF title and Last Man Standing or I Quit match. One of the two. I believe it was Last Man Standing. One of the two. It was like a brutal match. At one point, because of the entranceway, that's what I loved about shows at Madison Square Garden. They didn't have like huge like entranceways. It was really just that one little tiny entrance ramp, like not even a ramp, like right there. But they had a taxi cab up top and like garbage kind of lining the streets. There's like like spray painted and stuff, like garbage cans and stuff. But there was a pallet, and when Cactus Jack lands on the pallet or whatever the move is, part of that pallet goes through Triple H's leg, like sticks in there. Ooh. So it's like all blood, like he's like right into his calf, and it's just bleeding everywhere, and it's just gnarly. But
you need more than an X signal for that one. Jeez.
Mm-hmm. And then the whole leading up to that too, leading up to the Royal Rumble, the fact that you pissed off Mick Foley so much that he had to bring Cactus Jack out to take care of you.
Right.
I'm mad that Triple H won because Cactus should have won the title because Cactus Jack is a dog. But he had to bring out Cactus Jack to be able to.
Hey, at least Mick Foley won. He won as himself, I think, and as fun and loving mankind.
That is true, but the fact that you had to go so far into someone's brain to bring out their darkest personality. There's something that doesn't sit right.
You think
that Triple H growing up, I hated Triple H growing up. Evolution, hated Evolution. Hey, all of it. Hated it. DX, different story. Loved DX. They even were the bad guys. Still were the good guys. And everybody's heart.
Mick Foley was an honorary DX member for one night, I think, as well.
That's true. So is Hornswoggle.
That's pretty. Well, there's a lot of people, if that's the case.
That is true.
You had Hornswoggle, the Boogeyman, and the Great Khali all in one night, if that's the case.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, Royal Rumble 2000 is always a good one because
I like it.
I do enjoy that pay-per-view. Nothing. There really wasn't. Other than that, there wasn't much that happened other than The Rock winning the Royal Rumble match.
Right. What number was he? Do you know?
I don't even know. I didn't even
I think he came in.
like when I rewatched the pay-per-view. I watched the Taz's match and then I watched the Triple H match.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah.
So this is debut and Triple H match, huh? Was it your 2?
Mhm.
You're gonna go with?
I do like Taz's debut because I've always liked Taz. It sucks that his career had to be shortened,
Yeah.
and I mean I love him as a commentator, and I always have. But it would have been really cool if he would have like got to have like a world title.
Yeah.
That would have been cool in my book.
Yeah, he was ECW world champ and the FTW champ.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that,
and now in AEW, his son, well, Hook, which is not a lot of people realize that's his son. He's the FTW champ. I love that AEW has brought back the FTW world title.
Yeah,
fuck the world.
They're making it an actual, like, noticeable.
Yeah, people are fighting, like going after it.
It's crazy. That's a really good pick, though. I do like that. Taz's debut, which was a really good match.
And it was like a whole-on technical match.
And then, like I said, Kurt Angle waking up. You can't beat me that way. That was a legal chokehold. You lost.
Exactly.
Didn't really say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I like it.
All right, Keith. Hit me with your last one.
My last one's from May 25th, 2019. And it's from AEW. We're going to go with Double or Nothing 2019, where AEW gave us the match, a better version of the match that WWE kind of gave us at one point. But there's Natural versus the Nightmare, brother versus brother. Cody with Brandy, his wife, defeats Dustin Rhodes, and I believe AEW's best match of that year, or at least one of their best matches.
That was
tore down the house. They did things that they didn't have to do in that match. Dustin was bleeding. Spanked him on his rear ass, but that's a different story.
That's before Dynamite too. So like they didn't even have a TV show yet. Like that.
That was literally just pay-per-views. Them building up pay-per-views by talking about
it. The first show was All In.
Yep.
And that wasn't even anything. That's just an independent like pay-per-view, indie pay-per-view. Right. And because there was no, I mean, I guess Ring of Honor was like the promotional background for it, but like that all happened because somebody told Cody and those guys they couldn't fill up
they couldn't fill
10,000. They couldn't fill up an arena, and then it literally sold out in minutes.
Yep. But yeah, they put on an instant classic. One of the best matches of that year and that pay-per-view. Both men should be very proud. I'm pretty sure, even though it was a match between the two brothers, I'm pretty sure their father was very happy as well. Very proud. They did. That was proud. Yep. And it was really cool. The build up for it too was basically like it was a social media build up. Like that's the only way they could do promotional stuff because they didn't have a TV show yet. Yeah. So that was really, really cool. Like that the early AEW is awesome. I love AEW. I went to the first show in Detroit, saw Blood and Guts. Wonderful show. Still I'm upset when you told me that. I really wanted to go to that. That was a really good pay-per-view, and I had a great time. It was awesome. I got to see Sting in person. Like he didn't do anything. He was literally on the entrance ramp. Right. And I seen Sting and I was in love. Oh my God, there he is. Moment. Yeah, like that was really, really cool. And yeah, and then John Moxley debuts at the end. Yep. And then speaking of Kenny, the other match that I really enjoyed was the main event, which saw Chris Jericho taking down the man Kenny Omega in a match that no one probably thought they'd see, where Jericho decided to punch his ticket to the main event of the next pay-per-view to face Hangman Adam Page to see who would be the inaugural AEW champion. And besides Cody and Dustin, that match was the second best match, I think, or one of the top 3 besides the Lucha Brothers with the Young Bucks. That one was a close. They were both.
That match lives rent free in my head. That's a good one. And anytime you have the Lucha Brothers in the ring together or against anybody, it's going to be a wonderful match.
Yes, sir. The Bucks and the Lucha Brothers, either one, their fit matches are going to be great.
AEW, Bryan Danielson versus MJF at Revolution just a couple weeks ago in the Iron Man match was incredible.
I heard he's just knocking him out of the park left and right.
And yeah, he's a heel, and he's a heel's heel. He doesn't care. He is.
He literally takes his character seriously. He never breaks character.
Well,
I don't think MJF
during that match with Bryan Danielson, he threw he took a cup out of a mom's hand and threw it on a kid in the front row.
I heard and seen the media footage from it.
Yeah, the kid wasn't a plant. It wasn't part of the show, and it wasn't water.
Champ, and he gave him tickets to the next show or something, and he might
have brought him backstage.
Yeah, but yeah, that was not a plant at all. That was actually real, and that was an alcoholic beverage.
Yeah, it wasn't water. It was liquor.
The kid took it like a champ, and
got to see the champ.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not enjoy.
Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. Never thought I'd see it until it actually happened, and it was fantastic. Really would like to see another one before Jericho ended up retiring.
Well, I know it's going to be that was the second time they wrestled.
Was it? I can't remember.
The first time they wrestled, I stayed up because it was at Wrestle Kingdom. In 2018 for New Japan. Like I stayed up because the time difference.
Yeah.
The pay-per-view started at like 1:30 in the morning, but there was like 12 matches, and that was the main event. So that match didn't happen until like 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I stayed up all night and I watched the pay-per-view, and it was just killer. Kenny Omega puts on bangers. He wrestled what's his name? It just happened this year at Wrestle Kingdom. It was Zack Sabre Jr. Like him and Zack Sabre Jr. went at it again. And it was incredible. Like I would go find it on YouTube and watch it. It's just a back and forth, and like you should see the marks on each other. Like they went after each other.
That's interesting.
And killed it.
I really enjoyed that. Those were like my favorite matches in the beginning of AEW. Was Cody and Dustin putting it all on the line for themselves, their family, and the future. And then, either the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers are Kenny and just blowing it out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
So really fantastic.
And then I can still hear Cody's promo after the match in my head. Mm-hmm. I need my brother. And he's that.
I don't need a partner. I don't need a friend. I need an older brother.
And that's kind of like it was a
feel good moment.
A notion or something. Dusty and Dustin had a promo like that back in the day.
Yeah.
I need my dad, Yeah. So that was really cool.
I remember it's really crazy because the whole reason why I picked that match is because I have it saved actually on my YouTube. But one of their promotional videos for it was Cody coming through into the dark area and talking about the family in the match, and son or brother versus brother, son versus son of a plumber, and then you gotta take the horse and out back, and he just everything he said was like perfect. How the only way to outlast his brother is to take him out, and like it led up to everything great. The storyline of it, everything between YouTube and Twitter, their videos, their tweets, and then the actual match. Everything was outstanding. The build.
I actually bought that pay-per-view. I didn't just find it. I bought it, and I was so proud.
It was really was a good one.
But if you would have told Scotty then Scotty watching that match in AEW that in the year 2022, 2021, even 2 years later, because I guess it was towards the end, But either way, that Cody Rhodes would be main eventing WrestleMania in 2023.
Right.
I would have been like, dude, you're freaking nuts. He's like a executive vice president of a totally different wrestling company. But there he is. He's there.
Absolutely.
He's back, and that's really cool. I'm so happy he's back to win it all.
I love it. All right.
You just got to do what Dusty never did officially.
Yeah. With those being said, I can't wait. I'm like super excited. I loved having Cody versus Dustin. I can't wait to watch, Roman be dethroned by, Cody.
I'm kind of hoping that Roman beats him.
Oh boy, all right.
Or because listen, hear me out.
All right,
hear me out. I want Cody to be champion, but draw it out and let Cody win it at SummerSlam when we're there.
We could
in Detroit. I would much rather be there to see him win it live.
That would be cool, but I don't know. Would Cody get another shot though? Is the question. If he did lose,
that's true. I don't want him to lose. I hope he beats Roman.
I was really hurt. I'm really hearing that they're trying to have Roman versus The Rock or Roman versus Stone Cold soon. I hope neither of them happen, but I also hope.
I know The Rock. People keep saying The Rock's going to be at WrestleMania, maybe to attend, but he's not doing anything because he's already said in interviews if he can't give 100% to it of his time and effort, he's not going to do something because he would want to give it all of his undivided attention.
He'll do like a skit, or he'll do
something
interview, or he'll
promo,
just do something. Yeah, he'll probably do like he did 1 year. He'll come out and do like the attendance record. We broke a record. Congrats, guys. Blah blah blah. Something like that.
Or like if how he showed up at the Royal Rumble the one night.
Yeah.
When Roman won.
Okay. Right.
So like just showed up and did something, but he's not going to be a part of a.
They could do that. Roman wins, and as the acknowledgement, The Rock, raises his hand or something.
And Rock comes out and challenges him for next year.
Oh gosh. Jeez.
No, that's like deja vu.
Right. But yeah, that's interesting. I can't wait for that. That's in 2 weeks, basically.
Yes, sir.
2 weeks. You got WrestleMania on a Saturday and a Sunday, April 1st and 2nd.
I'm really excited.
We can't forget once again IWR this coming week on Thursday, the 23rd.
At the FOP on Strasbourg, right here in Monroe.
Yes, sir.
At the House of Insanity.
We're gonna hit you with the day in history real quick, and then maybe we can get one trivia question each or something. But our day in history for today was from March 20th, 1983, which is in a non-title champion versus champions match. WWF champion during the time, Bob Backlund, defeated Intercontinental champion during the time, Don Morocco, in a Texas death match live from Madison Square Garden.
Ooh.
Huh.
I do like Bob Backlund.
Non-title champion versus champion match. Bob Backlund and Don Morocco. A Texas death match at that.
Yeah, I would like that. I wonder if there's video of it.
That's very interesting. I really like to see that. That sounds fantastic. I did enjoy reading about that and finding that one out. That was interesting.
I am excited. That is awesome.
You want to do trivia? You can shoot a question real quick.
All right. Give me 1 second. Let me go back to my trivia page.
I'll give you one, I guess, and then we'll read our sponsors off. And
yeah, go ahead. Give me one. Hit me with one.
I'll give you your question first. Oh, well, speaking of these two people, we'll do this one. Like my ninth question: who were the inaugural SmackDown Tag Team Champions in 2002?
It was. I know this.
Men. I will tell you that.
Edge and
Nope.
No.
Nope. They were like third, I believe.
Oh, who won? I don't know. Then
your Olympic gold hero Kurt Angle and
that
they were forced to team by Stephanie McMahon.
And then won the titles. I swear I thought it was.
They beat Edge and Rey Mysterio, which who you were thinking of. I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
They were the other team. They lost to Benoit and Angle, and then Angle and Benoit kept them for a pay-per-view or two, and then lost to Edge and Mysterio, and then it went on from there to multiple other teams. We would
Two.
that will go through eventually.
When I think of that title belt, that specific tag team title belt, the blue one,
I really enjoy that one. I love that one.
There's 2 tag teams that come to mind.
Okay.
And that's Los Guerreros.
Okay.
And Team Angle.
All right, not bad. I can agree with Team Angle. Los Guerreros, and I prefer, Eddie and Ray, or Batista and Ray, or even Scotty 2 Hotty and Rikishi.
That's always a good one. Too cool, but I did enjoy the tag team title scene back then. There was a lot, and those titles are beautiful.
No, I really enjoy them. They're really nice.
Remember when Shawn Michaels and John Cena won the tag team title, the world tag team titles?
Yeah, they
on Raw.
They were tag team champions while they were main eventing WrestleMania against each other.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a cool little tidbit. You were there.
Yes, I was. I was there live to watch, Cena break the glass of the vehicle. Oh, that was a fantastic time.
That was cool.
Loved, watching that live in person. I was really high up, so they looked like, small people.
That's fine.
But I loved watching it in general. The Great Khali looked like a giant. He was just, slightly shorter than usual, but, still very tall compared to everybody.
Exactly.
All right. You got a question today?
I do. Here. So, do you know how do I say it? It doesn't matter. It's going to be multiple companies because they multiple companies because they wrestled so many times. But do you know how many times that Dusty and Ric Flair wrestled each other? And let me go further with the trivia question. It's, I guess, main event. Do you know how many main event world title matches they faced off each other in?
At least 10 to 12.
You got it. Hit it right on the head. It's 10. 10 main events. And overall, they've wrestled each other 50 times.
Yep.
And that's insane.
WWE, and TNA, WWF, I think at one point.
The NWA is when it was most fierce in the 80s. Is when they faced off. They faced off in brutal matches. Yep. Great American Bash, and I think it was 1988 or 87. It's just crazy. Loved it.
That's awesome. I love that.
Thank you.
I can't believe I actually got it right. I couldn't remember if I was 10 or 12. Glad I did what I did. 10 times. That's crazy.
Just main event world title matches.
Just main events. 10 of them for the world title. That's wild. I love it.
All right.
That was awesome. All right. We're going to read off our sponsors, and I think we were good to go. Once again, I'm Keith, as one of the hosts. This is my other host, Scotty. We are the Squared and Circle Shenanigans, and we would like to thank our sponsors again, which is Amaya's Fresh and Mexican Grill, Deb's Floral, Dudes Talking Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Edge, IWR, 8 Mile Vodka, Lane's Pizzeria, Little Brown Jug, Muggsy's Bar and Grills, and Monroe Sports Center. Oh, and also Ruthless Pro Wrestling. Sorry. I wanted to thank you all for your love and support, and we cannot wait till the next episode.
Thank you.